Hey, what is up, guys? I decided I'm going to do another draft. Figured we'd walk through it again, hoping that this draft goes a little better than last time. We're doing Magic Online again. Like I said before, it's the best way to test out a new format. And like I said, hopefully we do a little bit better this time. I wasn't quite satisfied with the deck last time, and I'm still kind of rumbling through this format. Feel like the signals sometimes with how flat the commons and other things are, it gets a little murky. All right, let's look at this pack. Well, I would say we're doing it. We opened the best limited card in the whole set. Kiora Best to See God. There's no other pick in this pack that could compare, or any card in the set. It is ridiculous. It makes a big creature, taps down your opponent's stuff, and then steals something, which is just gross. So let's look at the rest of the pack, see what might come back that we might want. Shimmering Chimera, yes, that's a great uncommon. It'll never come back. So we are passing a good blue card, so it's possible in pack 2 we might get cut, but this is the type of card you force a draft for. And Staggering Insight is very good as well. Pilgrim's good. A few good green cards. So it doesn't look like we'll probably wheel much from this pack, but we'll gladly put Sleep of the Dead or Witness of Tomorrow's if it comes back to us in this deck. But for us, we'll take the best card in the set. And on to this pack. This pack has some really good black cards. Notice that the rare was taken, so we don't have much of a sign. But Myers Grass, Drag of the Underworld, and Agonizing Remorse are very good black cards. And in green, we got the Brawler, and when he comes into play, you fight something, and that, for 6 mana, may not look like much, but that is a very good uncommon. So we got to decide whether we want to get in black and fight with the person beside us in black, or if we want to take one of the green cards and possibly be green, blue, and maybe possibly ramp to our bomb mythic. I think the black cards are better, but there's a lot of them in this pack, and I think I'd rather push them into it than fight them for it. Now, I could be wrong, get punished and get more black cards on the wheel, but I'm going to take the green card. And this pack, the Heroes is okay. Chimera, it's possible the Flash deck is open, but it's not really the deck I want to be in. You have to get a lot of pieces for that deck to work. The Ichthyomorphosis, hopefully I said that right, would be good in this kind of deck. But I think Chimera is a better card. Interesting. So we didn't pass anything blue in the last pack, but the first pack we definitely passed blue, but we also passed black in the second pack. So I'm trying to think what signals I'd be sending if I didn't take the blue card, because we want to be blue most of all. I think this is a very early pick for an Ichthyomorphosis, but I think I'm going to jump in and take it, just to try to play Kiora Best to See God. And this pack, I'm a big fan of the Singer, and I'm a big fan of the Omen of the Sea. I think the Blue Omen is probably one of the best ones. It might not be the best, but it's definitely one or two. I don't see anything really fighting either of these cards, so blue looks like it is probably open. Looks like 2 uncommons and a rare was taken. So the signs still aren't really there, other than blue, having a couple of good blue cards left in the pack. So I feel like in the next pick we'll start to really see what the signs show us. For this pick, I think I'm going to lean on the Singer. It's a good defensive card. And this pack, it looks like Grove Dancer still in here, which I think is a really good 2-drop. I think it's right where you want to be. and it's kind of rare to get good 2-drops. Instructor is okay, but it's kind of replaceable. I'm not really going to jump even more in blue just for that. This pack overall is kind of flat. I could take the 2-4 for 3, but its ability really isn't worth anything to us, and there's no reason to be red yet. We haven't seen any signs for that. I think I'm leaning towards just taking the good 2-drop, try to get our curve going, and it goes with our other green card. We're just speculating on this pick. There's no really signs for me. Okay, well, looks like some green's still going late. I find this 4-3 to be rather good. And it's always good to have 4 power creatures in this set. They tend to be good beaters. I think Treacherous Blessing is a good card. I don't think the downside is enough to avoid it, so that might be a sign as well that black could be open. But I've already passed some, and I kind of want to just keep passing it to stay kind of in my own lane. So I think what I'm going to do is take the Huntmaster. Looks like black still is kind of open. So passing the black early for like the green 4-4 might have been the wrong call. We could be pretty good, decently in black right now. But I do think I passed enough black to not try it, because I will not get it next pack. Also, I'm not seeing anything in here that I have to jump into either, so this pack again is kind of meh. So I think I will just take the best card. I'm going to take the Mogus's Favor. I've been impressed with it. Okay, this makes me feel good. Green is definitely open. These cards are very good. Blue might be kind of open as well. Also, Return to Nature isn't bad at all. So green's wide open, it seems. So we just have to decide what we want to do. And I like the idea. Binding only returns a creature, so I kind of don't want to take the chance of milling my best card. So I think I'm going to take the Return to Nature. Having that effect is important in the set. And we get punished by getting past another Return to Nature, unfortunately. So far, I'm not seeing that blue's really that open, but seeing how good Kiora is the best sea god, I'm going to play it, and we're going to make it work. So given that, I already just got a Return to Nature. I'm going to take a Sleep of the Dead and attempt to be more defensive if I need to be, to get to my Kiora card. This pack looks like white is open, but I feel like I'm enough in green to not take it. So I think I'm going to keep cutting blue, even if it's not a very good card. Another Return to Nature. Okay, we got 2 for the deck. Any more after this, I'm probably just going to put in the sideboard. Red is pretty good in this pack, but like I said, I'll stick to green. Well, I'll just take him to go with the other black card I got. Underworld Fires is a pretty good sideboard card, but we won't be playing it. Just some throwaway picks here late. Alright, so I feel like we're definitely in green-blue. And we kind of want to just round out our curve and find better ways to ramp out to Kiora's best to see god at this point. This pack does not look extremely helpful for that idea. Storm's Wrath is decent. It could be good in a deck like this, but we're not splashing double red. Myers Triton I feel like is a pretty good card. If we would have been black in the first pack, Devourer would probably be among the contenders in this pack. So given all that, I think just keeping some tempo and trying to keep time walk them as much as possible and things like that for getting to our late card, I think I'm going to take Stern Dismissal and not be very happy about it. Okay. There's some picks in this one. We could splash for Acolyte of Affliction. That's a very strong card, and it's definitely worthy of splashing, returning any of this. And if I milled Kiora, for whatever reason, at least I could return it with the Affliction. We already picked that early. We know, as I said earlier, it's a very good card. It's late on the curve, but we're still early enough to try to get some of these 2-drops to come back. So I think I will take this again. But notice that we're passing more black, and even this is okay, but I want this in a more aggro deck. So I'm going to take this guy again. I think he's very good removal, good creatures to stick around after. Okay. This is one of the best uncommons in the set, and notice that it's a single black to play it, and it's a single black to escape it. So it's another card that we easily could go get a Traveler's Amulet or something and splash it. And if this pack isn't very good besides it, I'm definitely willing to do that. One of the other options is take this. It's half of our colors and it's a Scryland, and that's always good for your deck. You'd always play it if it's at least one of your colors. Ichthyomorphosis is another removal, so that's good. It helps us get here. So the question is, do we want to take Spawn or Ichthyomorphosis? Brine Giant could be good in some decks, but not in our deck, I don't think, yet. Part of me wants to stay the course. I want to be more blue than splash black. So I'm going to keep going, even though it's a worse card. We definitely are sacrificing some things. Now, at this point, there may have been a mistake made. We have passed a lot of black. A lot of good black. In the first pack and this pack. So it's possible that instead of this green, we could be blue-black. And I'm controlling shell with like Kiora Best of Sea God as our top end, which sounds awesome. We may have messed up, but looking at our green now and where we're at, I don't think we can go back from that. So do we want to take a defensive Viper to try to stale off their board? Do we want to take a life gain card? And I think those are only 2 options. And I think I'm veering on the side of the life gain card, because it's a bigger body and it's an uncommon. So if I'm ever between 2 things, I usually take the uncommon because they're harder to get. There's this. Do I have enough enchantments to make that work? And looking at it, I got 1, 2, 3. No, I do not. So even though that's in our colors, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to work. Now I could take Grove Dancer or Viper as an early drop to kind of round out our curve and keep the early pressure off. I could take Huntmaster again. We're not an aggressive deck, so I'm less on Huntmaster. I think I'm more on one of these 2 so far. And putting the top card, like I said, we run the risk of the Kiora. So I'm going to take the Viper, but I will take as many of those as I can get. Don't get me wrong. Well, as we can see, we're still seeing the black. So there was a point in this draft where I should have jumped into black. I'm going to keep on with that mistake and keep not jumping into black. I'm going to take another Viper, and yeah, we're just going to kind of put our defenses up and try to get there with this card, I think. Remember when I said we could splash? If we keep seeing black, there might be a good chance of just doing that. All that being said, I have a 2 and a 3 drop that my deck could definitely use at this point. So I think I value a 2 drop more than a random 3/3 at this point. So I'm going to take the 2 drop. Alright. We got Thirst of Meaning, which I do like. Good card draw to get to this. Seems like a good idea. Gift of Strength I feel like is actually pretty good in this set. Pump spells in general seem to be good in this set. But I don't think it'll be that good in our deck. I think we want to be more of an aggressive deck for it. So I'm going to take Thirst for Meaning, get a little card draw, and try to get to our bomb. this removal around a little bit. Okay, this pack is not very good to us. I wouldn't splash this in this deck at all. A 1/3 flyer is defensive, but very meh. It scries. I think I'll take a plummet for the sideboard. Okay, we can take a 2-drop, which is not very good. We take Chain to Memory, which I think we will take. It's another defensive card that we could use. Now we're not going to play all of these, but at least we're getting the options. Oh yeah, so we'll take this. This is plenty good. More filtering to try to get to our best card in our deck. Now this deck isn't looking fantastic, but when you have such a powerful top end card, you kind of want to just build something that's going to get there to it. So that's kind of why I'm playing some mediocre creatures, defensive creatures, and ways to draw cards, and random ways to bounce stuff or lock things down to get to this card. Because it's that good. When it hits, you're going to win. We got another plummet, so we should be able to deal with flyers. I'll just, at the end of this, have to decide how many of those, like 1-drop defensive style cards I'll want to have in my deck. We're hoping to get a little bit more power in the next pack. I do think, we'll go ahead and just nab Decentralize from somebody. I do think that we would have had a much better deck had we been in black. I think I got locked into green with this second pick. Instead, had I taken black there, taken the Dragged Underworld or Mire's Grass, I feel like we would have probably had a better deck because we would have won a different route. All that being said, the deck's still pretty good. It still has ridiculous bombs, good removal, so we should be alright. It's just those are the differences between a 2-1 deck and a 3-0 deck, in my opinion, when you figure out those signals early. And I've been purposely avoiding them, unfortunately. Okay, so we got 2 Return to Natures, and that's that's some good flexibility. We got some card draw here. Whoa. There. We got a couple, like 3 different 1-drop ways to deal with their creatures, to lock them down, to bounce them. We got 2 removals out to deal with them for a good amount of time, and some defensive creatures. So we're set up pretty good. I would like a little bit more removal and maybe some more chunky green creatures to win the game with other than Kiora. So I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket, even though it seems like so far that's what we're going to do. Alright, waiting on this person to pick some picks. I'll move this over for now. I don't think I'll end up playing it. Like I said, we got a good sideboard for flyers at this point. Holy moly. Alright, so that's one of the other best cards in the set. Now we have some choices. So we could play the 2 most busted cards in Limited. We could. And I could just make a ridiculous mana base to make it work. I mean, I'm not 100% against it. I'm really not. To play 2 cards that powerful in a deck together seems good. Now in this pack I also got a card that just fits my colors, another card I could splash, and then a 2-drop defensive creature. The responsible pick is this. That's probably the pick I need to make, even though I don't have a lot of enchantments for it, and I'm not an aggressive deck. Oh man, we're gonna full on YOLO this. This is the wrong pick, guys. So, seeing as what we just did and took that pick, we see one bit of mana fixing, which we could definitely play. We can just play the two best cards in the set. Or we can just take the card that's definitely going in our deck. It's a really good 4/4 for 4, so it does everything we want to do. It can win the game on its own. So I think I'm leaning towards that. I'd also be a fan of Omen the Sea God. That way we could scry and kind of, try to hit the right mana, try to turn things away that we don't want. So that also is a very good option. I'm going to take the 4/4 because I feel like we need it. But there's a lot of good options coming around that we could use. Even this. Whoa, don't do that. Take the typo. Okay. On to this pick. This draft, this pack is very good. Destiny Spinner is very good. It's one more enchantment, and it makes things not be able to be countered, which is very, very relevant actually. In blue, there's at least 2 different ones people play main deck, and that pretty much every blue deck. So I'm leaning towards that. It's a 2/3 for 2, so that's already good. This guy is in our deck already, but he's more aggressive card, so I'm not on that. I already said Omen would be a good card for us. So I would like this, this, or this to come back to us. I'm going to take the spinner. If we play white, Apathy would be good too, but I'm not still convinced I'm playing Dream Trawler. I mean, I'd love to, but this is a very good card. I don't know how much. Let's look how many instant speed stuff we have to do. We got one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 different ways to draw cards off of it. So I feel like that, even with just 6, you need one a little bit more, but it's still on bomb range. I think I'm going to take it. It lets us draw to the Kiora that much more. So I'm on that plan. I'd also love the Blessing. I mean, any removal in green is always good. Fight cards, boosts the toughness. It's a very good card in the set. But we're not going to fight and win a lot of fights with some of these cards in our deck, so I think I'm going to do the Hippo. And maybe snag some turtles along the way. Alright, let's move the Dream Trawler out. We were never really doing that. I wanted to. It'd be great too. But I feel like it just ruins our deck to play it. And it was probably the wrong pick, like I already said, but I'd love to live the dream of playing Dream Trawler and Kiora in the same deck. Wow. Okay, so if 1 was good, 2 is better. So we got some really strong cards in this deck. We really do. This, if it survives a turn and you're able to draw just 1 card off of it, it's great. If you're drawing 2 to 3 to 4, then it becomes ridiculous. So we want to pick up some more instant speed ways to draw cards after this, but I'm taking it. It's an enchantment. Yeah, absolutely. Slamming it. There was a couple other packs like Succession and Training that we might want in this deck, but nothing to that power level. Okay, so given what we just got, the Hippo, we have some more enchantments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to make him cost less. But we want to get instant speed stuff at this point. So we want more card draw. But this guy's adding card draw. So I think I'm more on the instant speed creature that's going to draw me a card rather than more card draw. So I'm going to take the Vexing Gall in hopes to make these Hippo camps that much more broken. And we'll go ahead and cut this 2-drop because he's no good to us. And we'll cut the Sleep of the Dead since it's a sorcery. We want to keep as much of our removal and everything else instant speed as possible. And any more Vexing Galls or Turtles we're going to get, we're going to pick up. Because we have 2 guys that draw cards off instant speed and a heck of a long game. So we're on just, I think we just take another Grove Dancer here. Just continue to make our early game that much better. And I think if we get a Brine Giant, we're going to slam it too, because we got a lot of enchantments now. Hopefully that blue-green, I think it's Ephemia, comes back around, because it's becoming very good in our deck as well. We have a lot of enchantments. So overall, I like this better than the last draft we did. And for missing the buck on black, black was not open this 3rd pack. So it's possible all that stuff we passed forced other people to fight over black, and now we're getting rewarded with the blue. Now, we didn't read the signals right, so I'm not saying we drafted the hard way or did it the right way, but what we did was make other people fight over black, and now we got paid off by pushing them into black and pushing them out of blue. And I will gladly take another Typhoon. We're getting to the point where we don't have to have Kiora to win anymore. We could win with these 4/4s or Typhoon, or even Huntmaster. So that's good. And we could even mill like a Typhoon with Grove Dancer if we need to. So cool. Another good thing about having all these enchantments is it makes this spinner an incredible late game card. Yeah, this pack's not very good for us. I think I'll take a Colossus. I'm probably not going to play it, but I'll go ahead and take it. We have to decide what we're going to start cutting soon. That's alright. We'll wait till the end of it. So far, we're on cutting 2 cards. And we got 17 creatures and a kind of a defensive deck, so I think it'll probably be a couple creatures. I think I like 2 Return to Natures, a Thirst of Meaning, Stern Dismissal, Chain of Memory. They're all instant speed. They're going to draw cards off of this. And 2 Ichneomorphoses as our real removal. So I think it's got to be that. This is a late hero, so no one's in red-white. We'll take the Seaguard as another defensive like enchantment creature, but we're also probably not going to play him. It's also possible I might cut the Petitioner just because it's a double green card that's a 2/2. It gives us some chance to come back, though, so I'm not sure yet with the life gain. Do I want a 4-drop or a 2-drop? Or Relentless Pursuit as another. It's a sorcery. I'm going to keep all my stuff instant if I can. Take another 2-drop. It's always good to have as much early game as possible. And if you get 2 of them out at once and you mill a land, you're starting to gain 2 life, or 3 and 4, depending on how many you can get out at once. So that's always good. I'll take a Chain of Memory. It's another instant speed interaction. And like I said, it might end up to being a 1 mana, neg 4 something, scry 2, and then also draw a card, which I will pay 1 mana for that all day. It's like a preordain that nerfs their power. When you have 2 of a rare in your deck, you're going to see it often. So it makes cards like this that might be mediocre that much better. I'll take a Unicorn. I think it's the best card in that pack. Oh, buddy, we have some cuts. This deck, I feel like, is actually fairly strong. It's got a very powerful late game, and it's got some powerful engine. Good removal. some nice cheap interaction that's going to draw some cards. And a good curve, which it might be most important. So now we're going to build the deck. Well, a couple seconds, I guess. Sorry if my voice is cutting out. I'm got a sore throat, a little sick. Oh, if only. If only. We're strong enough, though. We don't need it. I still don't remember. I have to look back and remember what I passed up in blue and for this. Still good. Oh, we passed up on one of these singers, if I remember right, which would have been really good with double hippocamp. Yeah, I messed up. Oh well. I wanted to live the dream. No pun intended. Alright, look at all of our interaction, man. All 3 or less. I love it. I do wish that we have a counter spell or two. I feel like that would have gone a long way. Because there's nothing like, countering something and drawing cards. Alright, so Kiyora's not going anywhere. These two aren't. This could go somewhere. I'll think about it. Typhoons are not. Vexingall is not. This is also in the maybe pile. I like digging to these things. So I'm going to keep the Instructor. Vexingall is very good. Destiny Spinner is great. And I feel like if I'm going to have Destiny Spinner, I want all the enchantments I can. Singer, of course, draws cards here and just a great defensive card. The Vipers also could be in the meta category now that I have so much early game to hold up the board. Now they are also very good sideboard cards, so you bring them in against decks that have high power creatures that they don't want to trade for a 1 mana card, but they also don't have much options. So if I put them in the sideboard, there's definite games where they're coming in. So I don't feel like I'm an overly aggressive deck, so I don't need a high drop. So I feel like Huntmaster is probably out of the deck. I also think if we're facing an aggressive deck, I could put this in the sideboard and bring it in. I feel like I already have some double green cards, and I don't want to make an early double green card. Or be, not able to play a 3-drop because it's double green when I need to. So I'll put that in the sideboard. So we got 2 more in the maybe pile, and we need to cut 2. We just have to decide whether we want to cut all the Vipers or not. I really like the idea of having cheap creatures like that can help me get to Kiora Best of Sea God. But I also think that we have so much we have 6 2-drops. And we got 3 1-mana interactions. Yeah, we can probably cut the Vipers. Like I said before, there's definite decks that we're going to bring them in against. So let's go ahead and combine our groups and then sort by color, kind of see where we're at. Okay, so we got 11, 12, 13 blue symbols. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 plus 8, 15. So we got 13, 15. So we want to be 1 more green than blue. Now let's look at our curve and make sure that's accurate. Now we have a bunch of 1-mana blue, so there's an option to go more blue, but our creatures that are 2-drops are mostly green. So I think that's the right call. And then also you have the double greens here. Now these can come later in the game. They don't have to come, turn 4. And by turn 6 you have double green, so you don't have to worry about that. And by turn 7 you have double blue, so you don't have to worry about that. So I think that's the right build. Let's go ahead and look down and make sure. Yeah. I mean, there's some other options, but I feel like we got plenty of sideboard cards. We got Plummet for flyers. We got Moss Viper for, mid-range creatures that we want to deal with. We got Life Gain for aggro. And if we were facing like a control deck, we could even bring Huntmaster as kind of just more beaters. And then like this could be also in for aggro as well. A 2/5 body is really hard for an aggro deck to punch through. Okay, cool. So this is our deck. I'll go ahead and save it. And I hope you enjoyed the draft video. I hope it was informative, and I feel like it went better than the last one. So thanks, guys. See you later.